What road?
You're done.
Good evening.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Jim.
Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Preble Town Board meeting of August 13th, 2018. Anybody who hasn't signed the yellow pad, please sign it as a guest here in attendance. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions to the regular minutes of July 9th?
I make a motion, we accept the minutes as presented.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Jane?
Dog control, July report, dog running at large, bit someone on a bicycle. The dog was licensed but has been returned to Country Acres. Justice report, I didn't get the amount until after I had everything all done. $15,284.
Thanks, Jane.
Yeah.
Jeff, highway report?
Yeah, we got a copy of the report. A few things that maybe Don has heard or not, but the county plowing contract, have you heard anything from them?
No.
The other thing was the Verizon. You heard anything from Verizon?
Nothing official.
Okay,
Why have you?
no, I haven't. I was just curious if anything popped up. The other thing I'd like is permission for the to roll the loader over. Been on a 2-year cycle. Got that under your equipment part of the report. Anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to field them.
Somebody's got it, right? What's it say?
Okay.
What is it?
Who's asking?
Every 2 years, it's what?
It's not time for public input at
No,
this
he
time.
just said somebody's got it. I just
Yes,
wondered who got it.
We have it.
Oh, what is it?
Every 2 years, it was 1 year, but the cats moved it every 2 years.
Mhm.
It averaged between $8,000 and $9,000 a year. The biggest thing that does is start you on a new warranty. Warranties get expensive after the second year. Runs upwards over $2,000 a year just for the warranty to keep it within warranty.
Mhm.
So because of the newer electronics and things like that, that's the reason to do that. It's cheaper to do that. You never buy tires. Keeps the hours down. Basically, most important piece of equipment we have.
Mhm.
Okay.
Is this something the town board would like to make a motion on now, or do we want to
Somebody's got it, he said.
think? It's not time for you to comment right now. Please be silent during the board meeting. Is there, do we want to talk about this? Do we want to think about this? Do we want to make a motion now?
Might, I mean, we can talk about it now. I mean,
Yeah.
Get it done and over with. And
Mhm.
Something that we've already done.
This
I mean,
is standard practice,
Yeah.
what we've been doing.
I don't see any, give Jeff the okay to.
Mhm.
Sure. Move we authorize Jeff to roll over our loader this November.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Right.
Carried. Hey, Jeff, go ahead on that. Any other items?
Unless anyone else pops up. So
Um,
just wait for the heavy rains tonight, see what we have to look at in the morning.
I wanted to ask you about the parking of the on the paving of the parking lot in the back.
Oh, yeah, it's been just kind of crazy busy. Dave, do you have a date that would work? We could kind of set it right now maybe and
You tell me, I'll be.
tomorrow 5 o'clock work?
I'll be out
Okay,
of town.
Wednesday.
I'll get ahold of you.
Okay,
Okay. And if somebody could email me when you find the date, then I would like to join you on that.
And back on the loader, just very quickly,
Mhm.
is that a state bid item?
Jeff?
I'm sorry.
Is the loader a state bid item?
Yes,
Okay. So we don't need any competitive bid.
Right.
Okay.
Right. About highway garage, the town paid off the bond anticipation note about 10 days ago. So Gina wrote me a check and I walked it down to NBT Bank and that was paid off. So we paid about $2,000 in interest on this, but now we own the building free and clear, and we have no loan against it at all. So that worked out well. Jeff, is there anything else that you want to comment about?
It's just been, replacing culvert pipes, cutting trees, we got some oil and stone to do coming up.
Mhm.
Business as usual.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks a lot. Okay, recreation, Renee?
Just finishing up the final paperwork for the Portland County Youth Bureau grant. Last week of program, we've had 24 families participate this year with an average of 20 youth a day. Between 23 youth participating for a field trip. We have our final family picnic this Thursday. All town board members are welcome to join us. In terms of recreation, the Old Timers Band did perform. We had about 50 people that attended that. Waiting on the third quote for the roof and some other projects at the park. We're meeting with an individual this week to give us the final quote, so we have the 3 bids for that. The tumbler has been purchased for the trash at the park. There seems to be some mixed communication between the Homer Rec and some comments that were made from people here in town. So we're gonna get that straightened out. Last month we talked about the deposits for the pavilion and the use of the pavilion in regards of getting them turned in before you use the pavilion, and also what the expectations are of getting the pavilion cleaned up back to the way it was. Holding 1 deposit right now. They've been emailed and told that that deposit's not gonna be returned, but they'll get part of that deposit back due to the fact that I had to do some cleaning up of food and found whatnot. Staples and Tax, you can find the pictures and the emails attached to your report, so.
Okay,
Other than that, things have been going pretty smooth down there. Carrie Lane also asked that her deposit be kept and placed into the playground fund.
okay. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, thanks, Renee. County Legislature, Don?
Okay, well, I'll try to make it as short as I can here. I got the August solid waste report for August. Sorry to say that 6 months in, we're now very close to $200,000 in the rears on solid waste. So I brought that report up to you. I also brought up some handouts. Some of our problem with our recycling is the zero waste recycling. We got some people that are throwing in everything but the kitchen sink that we can't recycle. And of course, all that counts against you when they sort that out. So I brought some handouts as to what is accepted is for zero waste recycling. Okay. Pass that around, and I got some for the audience too. Also in e-waste, we're getting a lot of stuff that is not considered to be e-waste. So I brought up some stuff you can pass around on that what is accepted and what isn't accepted. What we're ending up with is kind of small refrigerators, deep fryers, vacuum cleaners, everything but what
Electronics, yeah.
can go. So I brought here that you can pass around also what is accepted and what isn't accepted. So if you can help us out with some of that will certainly help us. So here's something for the audience. Again, to pass that around, that would be good.
Don,
Yes.
one thing also, obviously I'm buildings and grounds,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't hurt to have this circulated in our own buildings because our own buildings don't do the same.
Okay. I know they are circulating them down at the recycling center, but yes, it would be good. to
I
have.
mean, just so that every office, every department knows what's what.
Okay. We can do that. I also wanted to ask you if maybe what I'm bringing to you here tonight, we have it on our county website, that
Yep.
maybe you
We'll
could
put
put
it
it on your website.
Yep.
That would be great. So that's all I have to report at this.
Don, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
We received a second quarter sales tax check in the mail over the past week or so. And I just want to know, are we on target for the projected income and sales tax for the county? Or are we off that target? And if so, about how much?
I think we're about on target. The holdup right now is the fact that the city has not agreed to the new agreement
Mhm.
so far. They have not signed it. I think they are in the process of doing that, but so far it hasn't come through. And I'll also reiterate that what I passed around to you is our cost and expense is for June. That's 6 months in. July's expense has not come in yet. I'm expecting that probably it's going to be about the same, around $37,000. So it's going to put us well above $200,000 in the hole. So we're looking on how we can cut some expenses there and what we can do.
Mhm.
And if there's any way that we can get some help from the citizens here in Preble to help clean up our stream, that would be great.
Okay,
Okay?
thanks, Don.
Yep.
Anybody else have questions for Don? No, thank you. Jane?
Zoning and code, one building permit issued, 60 miles travel for the town, 16 building inspections, 51 hours worked, 2 fire inspections, 3 complaint follow-ups, 28 telephone inquiries. The planning board meeting is August 22nd at 7 o'clock. That's a Wednesday. ZBA meeting September 6th at 7:30. That's a Thursday.
Thanks, Jane. Our historian, Ann Henderson, is not here tonight.
We
Okay.
collected fees of $322, dispersed $291 to the town of Preble, and $31 to New York State Egg and Markets.
Under unfinished business, we'll start with the Ed Benedy situation for junk. Don, can you give us an update on this?
Yes, the time period for the defendants to appear has expired. So the application will be going into the court this week for a default judgment. Now, it'll take a few weeks to get that. The judge has to be appointed. We have to appear, but the time for the defendants to appear has expired. So that's the next step.
Thanks, Don. Then we have the solar law. Everybody should have a copy of that. Don, did you bring some?
I've got some. If anyone needs them. Hey, can I stop there?
That's the same one, right?
Yeah, I believe it is. Don, you've got one? Okay.
This is the one that your buddy sent to me.
I mean, I got
Last
the copy that
week.
Jane
Yeah.
gave us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
That's
yeah.
the one. And Terry, you've got one?
Does anybody have any questions on this?
I have one question. Well, first of all, I do want to thank the committee for the hard work and also for focusing this in on the solar law as opposed to kind of some of the other things that we all agree still need to be addressed. And so thank you for separating those. I think this makes it more clear and straightforward for us to deal with. One question that I had that I submitted in earlier, just didn't hear back, and I see it's still in the law, is that we clearly have a bunch of lakefront properties, and this law requires that the ground-mounted solar systems go in the side or rear yards. And the rear yards, of course, on lakes are lakeside. So I asked the question, and so I'm just curious what the committee's thinking was to leave that in that format.
Well, we either have front yards, rear yards, or side yards, so if we limit it to front and rear yards, we only have side yards. And
just, Don, correct, help me here, we just decided that they needed, the residents at least needed some avenues for a ground mounted system.
So, I mean, did you think of having it roadside for the lake properties?
I think one of the things that Dan Deneen did a GIS search and looked at all the parcels,
Sure.
lakefront parcels within the town. And all those that met lakeside or lake zoning,
Right.
L1 zoning, which honestly is not all lakeside. My property is across the street from the lake.
Sure.
I don't have lake frontage, but I'm still lakefront or L1. When they did that search and factored in all the setbacks that would be required, there were very, very few properties that would qualify for a ground-mounted system on
On the lake,
their rear
On the
yard,
lakeside.
which would be
the lakeside,
lakefront.
yeah.
So we did
Okay.
take a hard look at
Okay.
whether it would be an issue at all.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good feedback. Absolutely.
And I think a lot of it was aesthetics, so that, you weren't driving down the road and seeing these structures in the front there. There were issues with aesthetics and setbacks and the
Sure.
ability to be able to at least construct one.
Sure.
But, it's up to you.
Okay. Well, no, but I mean, you considered it. That's good
Yeah,
feedback.
Yes.
Good.
yes.
Yep.
Anybody have any more questions on this? Local law number 2 for solar energy. We could set up a public hearing.
Well, I think isn't the process we have to approve the law,
Right.
then the public, then it gets sent to planning to approve, or since he's
You need to pass, if you
Yeah.
want to move it forward
Right.
for consideration for enactment, you need a resolution establishing a public hearing and a resolution referring to county planning.
Right.
Both.
And then after those steps, it would be approved, right?
Yep, we'll
Well,
need to
then-
do a environmental,
A secret.
okay? But right, upon getting the recommendations back and after your public hearing, then you can consider it for enactment. That's
Right.
correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So we need a motion to set up a public hearing. Preferably, we do this right before our next board meeting. So we would do it on September 10th. We could do it at 6:45 on September 10th. And we need a motion also to refer this to county planning.
I move we set up a public hearing for the solar law on Monday, September 10th at 6:45 p.m.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
And I further move that we refer this law to the county planning department for their review.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Next item is we want to get an update on our website project. Don, you've been
So-
doing that?
Yeah, so we identified 5 potential bidders. After getting some additional information, one of them decided to not pursue it. And I think he viewed it as kind of a side project and realized that wasn't going to work for us. So I sent out an RFP to 4 people, to 4 organizations. The bids are due Wednesday. We've gotten 1 bid in so far, and I expect at least 2 more. So we'll have 3 bids by Wednesday, and then I expect the award to be by next Monday, and we'll get the project kicked off and off we go.
Is that for Preble Wi-Fi or something?
It's not time for public input right now. Okay, any questions for Don
People
among the
may
board
want,
about
it's
this?
just copies of that.
And I
Extra
did
copies.
get minutes and so forth posted on the site, so all of that's
Okay.
up to date.
Okay, good. Good. Thank you, Don. Under new business, we need a resolution for the establishment of the Recreation Improvement Equipment Reserve Fund. This was a message that Gina sent to Jane and myself about setting up a reserve for the rec department so that they can have a reserve for projects that they want to do there, for maintaining the pavilion and the park and so on. So we need a resolution for that.
I'll make a resolution that we establish a recreation improvement and equipment reserve fund.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Next item, under new business, we received $117,318.36 for second quarter sales tax. We received $1,771.89 from Northeast Transformers. We received $741.92 from USPS. We received $599.92 from New York State HLS, Homeland Security. Jane, did you ever ask Gino what that check was for?
No.
No. I tried to ask her, and she didn't give me a
She
good
didn't give
answer
you an
for it. She didn't know off the top of her head, so
Oh,
at some point we'll find out what that's for. But we received that money.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was the state's portion of the money that we got back for that March snowstorm. So that was
Oh, it goes back to March. Okay.
the state. We got the big check from the feds, and we got the state. They split what they were gonna give us.
Right.
So they were supposed to get 15%. We got like 7.5%.
Okay.
Right on cue.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But that's what that's from.
Thanks, Jeff. Solve the problem for us. Okay, at this time, we would like to take input from the public, questions, comments, whatever is on your mind. We would like to, there's one more item here too. We would like to accept the resignation of Linda Reelman from the board because she has moved her residence. So Linda has served on the board for how many years now?
8 anyway.
8
I was on the
years?
zoning board first.
Yeah. And
Going to Tisca.
we commend her for her work for the town of Preble. Thank you for your participation. And since she is moving out of the town, she can't be on the board anymore. So she's tending her resignation, and so we need to make a motion to accept her resignation.
Make a motion to accept Linda's resignation and greatest thanks for everything she's done.
We have a second on that? All in favor?
It's effective August 31.
August 31st, right. Thank
So
you.
she can still vote for the rest of the night.
Yes, you can still go for the rest of the night, right? This is effective August
Good job,
31st.
guys.
Yep, yep. Yep.
So I'd like to move that resolve to thank Linda for her wonderful service to the community
Mhm.
for all the years. And so I look back on it, and in 1995, somebody signed my purchase of my property here in the community, and it was Linda Rowland. So, I guess it was the zoning approval or something.
That somebody drafted to be on the board too.
Oh, there you go.
Co-signer.
Yeah.
So I think that the board, I resolved that I moved that the board resolved to thank Linda.
Good. Thank you so much, Linda.
You're welcome.
Okay, at this time, we open up our meeting for public input, questions. The board will try to answer whatever questions you have to the best of our ability. Comments, if you just want to make a comment for the board to consider your point of view, we can certainly do that. So, anybody?
Yeah, I look.
Betty Ann?
The flag that's hanging up over here, my husband's brother served fighting against them. Now we're honoring him by putting a flag up. That's a disgrace for my family.
Okay.
I want to join in that. A couple weeks ago, my brothers came in, we went over and buried my last uncle. He was 91. And my cousin verified that he fudged his age so that he could join the Navy during World War II. And so many other people in that generation, my fathers and uncles. So I'm ashamed that we have a Nazi flag in our town. I know the town doesn't have any regulatory authority over it, but I would ask the board to consider making a statement that it's not within the principles of the town, and it's not something that the town supports, and that we From what I've read, the young man has some problems, but it's just should not be part of our community. Thank you.
To your comment, Joe, Don and I were talking this morning on our normal Monday morning call, and we did state that, well, we were talking about this, that the board could write a letter to put on the record that of how the board feels about this particular situation and send it to the property owner. So it would be a statement from the board on the record of our viewpoint of this situation. We can certainly do that.
I would definitely support that.
Mhm. Okay, you're welcome. Anybody else have any comments?
I wasn't planning to speak, but I think it is really important to do that because I've been watching the news and they're using that light of that flag a lot. So there's a lot of visuals out there and people are making that association of Preble and that despicable image that is it's very upsetting.
I don't understand what the flag has to do with this problem. It makes no sense.
Can I interject? The flag has nothing to do with 1941 to 45, World War II, Nazi Germany, anything. The thing is, people love to hate something and will call attention to it when they know it's something like that. But they don't know the real reason why the person put the flag up there in the first place. And nobody wants to figure out what the real problem is and get to the resolve of it and take it down.
What is the problem?
Oh, you'd like to know? You know,
I'm sure the Nazi flag had nothing to do with it.
you're right. You're absolutely right.
So why put it up to offend people like our whole family?
Because for 9 months, I bitched about fucking this and that and everything else, and nobody said anything.
Well,
Did you
What is it?
complain to the right people?
Did you ask Ted No Wi-Fi McBride? Ask Ted No Wi-Fi McBride what it's got to do with. You want the MAC addresses? You want to know what it's done to me? Huh? Right here. Look them up. Look them up. Look them up. Not the town. What's it got to do with the town? You're bitching about a flag. You're bitching about a flag. What does this got to do with the
What's it
town?
doing to the
Keep your
town?
voice down.
To the whole town? What's it doing?
Because for 9 months, I stood fast while everybody
Lloyd would be rolling over
was
the
rolling me over, exactly. But they don't want to know nothing about real deal. They don't want to know about what it's really about.
Okay,
Hate the flag.
these
okay?
questions,
It has nothing to do with
Well, take the
1945
flag down.
Nazi Germany.
these
Take the
questions,
flag down.
these questions should be,
Not talk like that to that older woman.
What? What did I say?
Anybody.
Keep
Has
your
nothing to
voice
do with
down,
1930.
be respectful.
I didn't say anything disrespectful, and I'm sorry if I did.
these questions should be
I
directed,
stifled myself for 9 months. Excuse me.
these questions should be directed to the board
Right,
and not among yourselves.
right.
Joe,
So-
who did you go to for your original
I
problem?
was told by Spectrum and my cell phone carrier to get a hold of the local police.
Spectrum is right here, right now.
Right, no, Spectrum, the cable company, and they said
Okay.
there's no way that signal from Homer should be in Preble. That he's definitely hacking you, but it's not a Wi-Fi deal; it's a person deal. To go ahead and call the cops, and I went ahead and I called the Homer cops. Being Pittman, right? Pittman isn't Pittman the sheriff?
he's
or,
Homer cop.
yeah,
So she
Homer
called
cop,
Trooper or
yeah.
the sheriff.
Right. And did nothing about it because they said they talked to him and he didn't want to do anything about it.
It's not home.
And I talked to Coen County Sheriff. Also, it said Ted Sr. had nothing to do, he had no Wi-Fi. But the signal on my phone definitely gets stronger when I go up to his window.
Who do you talk with at the sheriff's department?
Whatever, well, probably 3 or 4 of them anyway.
Okay, you don't know a name?
I do, but I
Okay.
don't want to throw people under the bus. But yeah, there was at least four different sheriffs that were dispatched.
And so the issue is that you feel that your neighbor is Stealing your signal?
Not stealing,
Oh, what's he doing?
basically the Wi-Fi through Spectrum has a firewall that works against my phone, my equipment that I can't change or, you know, it's in the hard drive, hard settings of everything that it controls. It's when if say don't want Wi-Fi direct, I got Wi-Fi direct whether I want it or not because it's on there. And if I want a factory reset, I can't factory reset. All my stuff is on there and it's for whatever. And there's emails on there that aren't mine that are used. And in fact, I just recently, my cell phone carrier sent me a phone to try to rectify it. And right out of the box, open it up out of the box without putting any service on it. Still can log on to an email that I won't name. But it's all on there and yeah, it's logged on without any service put on it.
Okay, so it's,
So Jody,
So how does a phone out of a box with no service get an email and I can get stuff on it?
well,
Right.
actually you can.
Right.
It does. No,
When
it's
I've talked to
designed-
my phone
Hang on, hang
carrier,
on.
when I talked to my phone carrier, they said it's not a phone issue, it's a people issue.
So Jody,
And then when I talked to Spectrum, they said they're definitely hacking you. There's no way that signal should be up there. Meaning from Homer up to Preble. It shouldn't be on there.
Jody, as a friend,
So, and
I
then
would-
Ted said he recognized
Okay.
the signal. I said, why don't you get your Wi-Fi from Tompkins Street like everybody else, not in Homer, not James Street? And he said he'd take it down. And being the weekend, he said, take it down Monday. I waited Monday. Tuesday, the flag went up. That's the day the flag went up.
So Jody, I'd be happy as a friend to come over and look at your stuff with you.
Sure.
I've got a
Sure.
bunch of stuff.
And I talked to
set up.
Dave Ames. And Dave Ames, because Dames, Dames, was also another one on there. I was cutting the tree for him. He said the guy that's on there also works in his building in Homer, and he recognizes it too. And he was going to check into it. I haven't heard back from him, so I'm not going to throw him under the bus, but he recognized the guy's name in Homer. That shouldn't be in Preble. Is the name on my stuff. Using Dames being Dave Ames.
Well, if Don can help you rectify the
I'm
problem.
just looking. That's all I would love to.
And-
I'd
and-
love to take that flag down, and it has nothing to do with Nazis or hating.
The other thing is, as far as being on the town board and a member of the town, is I've been actually in dispatch when we've had 911 calls. We've had 2 calls because of that flag from Syracuse coming down and going to take the flag down. They are advised not to. We don't
well,
need
hey,
an issue. We
you're
don't
right,
need
you're
somebody
right. They
burning
should
your
not
house
come
down
down,
or
right.
anybody else's.
I would love it. Right. That's
So,
what is up there. Is the take it nice, sure.
so
But I'd love to take it down. Absolutely.
okay, maybe you and Don can get together.
But
on it.
hopefully, yeah,
So,
it's done.
Jody,
its
I'll
job,
come over
that's
as a
for sure.
friend. I'm not
It's-
coming over in
It's not because I'm a neo-Nazi, but it's done its job with no Wi-Fi, no cell phone, no way to get out, no way to talk to nobody. Nobody giving a shit for 9 months. Yeah. I'm glad it's finally got somebody's belt.
so you guys will get together and try to resolve
Thank
this?
Sure,
Okay,
I'll do my best.
I
Okay.
love it.
okay, good.
In the meantime,
Getting in the
though,
right
I think we do need to write a letter
Oh,
with our
yes.
position.
Yeah, you can write me a
Well, right
letter,
on.
sure. But I'm going to tell you the same
Right
thing
now,
as I just
too,
told
make
you.
a public statement right now.
Yeah.
The town board will write a letter stating our position about your flag. And we
And
will
you
make
heard
it,
mine.
we will mail it to
Hopefully
you
It's on camera. Yeah.
and we will make it
Heard.
public.
Run true.
We can put it on our website
Yeah, it can be
so that everybody
reconciled.
can see it.
Love it to be.
Okay. Anybody else?
Take the flag down.
When it's reconciled.
Jeff?
In another note, Don, I got a question for you. Say that the stream of the recycling is dirty. Does Casella give you any numbers as to how much, if that was cleaned up, what the difference in, the cost of the county would be?
How much you gotta raise it?
No, they haven't given us any cost other than they're having a problem with a lot of trash being mixed in, such as bags and all kinds of stuff. Recyclables that aren't rinsed, that are dirty. Wet boxes, pizza boxes that are greasy that they can't take. rip the pizza box in half and put the greasy part in the trash, you can still put the good part in the recyclables and that kind of thing. But, yeah, you go down there and look at the pile that's there, and there's all kinds of bags and everything else all mixed in it. And they don't have manpower enough to sort it.
We're dealing with Okra.
So it creates a big problem, and some of it's coming in that way from the haulers. Everyone, it's not so much the residents themselves. So they've asked us to resolve it. Well, we're not, as a county, in the recycling business. We contract with Casella, and it's really up to them to resolve that problem. But they only have so much manpower to do that with. The same way with the e-waste. They're running up with vacuum cleaners and everything other than, what's acceptable. And if we can clean that stream up, that wouldn't be counted against us.
About sending, copy both of these to the hauler to turn around and send to the customers, so they know. I mean, you give out a few here, but there's a lot. So I'd suggest.
I mean, a lot of it is education. You got to educate the people, because you hear a zero sort or a no sort, you're assuming that it all can be recycled, which is not the case.
And that's what we contracted with Casella to do. And so far, they, other than handing out some flyers, that's about the only educational program they've offered. Everything else. John is down there periodically. There again, he's not there full time and there's nobody there to inspect what's thrown over the wall, what actually comes in on the haulers, trucks and whatnot. Send them the other way. If it's contaminated, they should send it to the landfill. That's my opinion. But we don't have the say of anything down there, because they are the ones we contracted with to run it.
Well, Don, I've heard in southern Onondaga County, Tully area and like that, people come down from there because it's easier for them to get to that recycling center than it is up there. So technically, we're paying for their, if it's a cost issue, we're covering outside people also. It's not. And my point is, and the big picture of this is, if we clean that up just spick and span, if we're still going to be, hundreds of thousands in debt at the end of the day, I think that would help guide as to what the next step is, whether we're going to stay recycling or where we're going to head with it. But it'd be interesting to see what they say if we get a clean stream, what our return would be, the savings. If it's not worth it even going to that, why would we go to the expense of?
Because I thought that's why we went to the zero sort to begin with, is to save money in the long term.
Stuff if we didn't take it, okay, like glass. Glass is basically worth nothing. It's costing us money to even send it, so we ought to quit accepting it. But this is certain plastics. Some plastics are worth money, some aren't worth anything. There again, they might better just go to the landfill. All you're doing is sending it up to Casella to sort out and send to their landfill. That's basically what you're doing. Okay?
Thanks, Don.
Yep.
Does anybody else have a question for the town board?
I
Amy?
have a private hauler, and I've never been given information on what a separation or anything, so perhaps maybe those of us in the Preble area or these outlying municipalities need to have some education. Maybe this needs to be, because Don's talking about Casella and their information on recycling and sorting, and I've never gotten any information. My hauler picks up everything. I try to do it conscientiously, but they've never asked for separate bins or whatever. So this information is very important, and maybe it should come out to a lot of us, in Preble or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Amy.
Well, that's why I kind of asked to have it put on your website, number one. It is on the county website. They do have some signage down there on that, and they have been handing out some flyers for the people that come in. And the haulers do know this, and there's no reason that those, what I handed out tonight can't be handed out by the haulers to who they serve.
Send it with their bill.
Deb?
Sounds like a newsletter article, right, Don? What's it called?
Yeah, that would be a good newsletter item. Anybody else? Questions?
I was just wondering a timeline on, we were speaking about, you're sending out something to me. But,
We're gonna write a letter tomorrow.
okay. I was wondering,
Mail it
more
short-
resolution than tell me what we already know. I mean, a letter that we already talked about, just a letter, right? Words are
It'll be
words.
stating the
What
board's
was,
position.
what's real and what's now and here and resolution and moving forward
Mhm.
is more what I'm looking for.
And our board member,
As a
Don,
friend.
He said he
Sure.
talked, he said he
Is
talked to
going
me,
to help
but
you.
I didn't get a timeline. That's
Oh,
what I
well,
asked
well,
for.
I'm gonna catch up with you right after this
Okay,
meeting and
all
we'll
right.
set it up. Yeah,
Thank
sorry.
you, yes.
Okay.
That's what I asked, yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Question or comment for the board? Okay. This time we need to pay some bills. We need to make a motion for the general fund vouchers.
I'll make a motion to pay the general fund vouchers, abstract number 8, numbers 195 to 229, totaling $10,803.92.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. We need to make a motion for the highway fund vouchers.
I'll make a motion to pay the highway fund vouchers, abstract number 8, numbers 59 to 70, totaling $15,288.98.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. And we need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Good night.
All in favor?
Good night, Linda.
Carried.
Hey,
Okay.
we'll miss you.